Hey guys, GPT engineer has been on the internet for the past 10 days and everyone is talking about it. I said let me try out a few things with it and see what it actually does. I have tried out to build a data science web application and it's just great. Let me show you how I've done it. So let me first of all take you to the web application. I have the web application opened here. So I'm going to go to the web application. So you see that it's a house price prediction model that I created. It takes some data and it does a little bit of exploratory data analysis. I'll tell you in details in a minute. And the important thing is that you can predict the price of a house given these properties here. If you play with these properties, you see that the price of the house actually changes and so on and so forth. So you see you can really play with it. All right, but how did I create this? I created it without any code, and this is the magic of GPT engineer. We have heard about auto GPT in the past weeks and it's been great. I like it, but it's nothing like this. Let me first of all take you to that repository. The repository is GPT engineer. You will see that it's growing massively. Last night when I checked, it was 31k stars. Now it's 31.8. People are using this thing like crazy, and it's growing very, very fast. All right, what does it do? It can create a web or any application for you just with prompts. You're not going to write any code. And the beautiful thing is that it's so simple, right? It's so simple. All you need to do is to install GPT engineer and start building your stuff with it. It's often my impression that developers don't know how to write documentation. I'm just going to ignore all the steps that they showed here and show you how to do this. Right, let's go here. We're going to create a folder. Let's make a directory. Let's say it's demo GPT, something like that. All right, so we are in there. There's nothing in there, and we're going to install this library, this GPT engineer. Once we install it, then we can start playing with it. All right, by the way, there are a couple of steps that we're going to follow. I will outline it so you see what we're going to do. So the first thing is that we will install the library, which is then this GPT engineer thing. Once we've installed the library, we will do this in a virtual environment. When it's a virtual environment, the name implies that we're going to create an environment where we'll install our libraries just for this project. Okay, then we would need our OpenAI key. This is needed so that you can talk to the models that OpenAI has. And in this case, it's going to be the GPT models, right? Chat GPT models. I don't have access to Chat GPT 4, so I'm going to use the Chat GPT 3.5 to do this demo, right? So we will need that key. And let me just head on to where I can get the key and show you. To get the key, I think I already have it opened here. How did I get here? You need to go to OpenAI. You would log in. I already have an account. Then you go to API. This is the route I follow. And then you view API key. We're going to create a key for this demo. Please don't note it down because I'm going to delete it immediately after this video. We will call it GPT engineer. I'm going to create this key, GPT engineer, copy it. And that is the key. Then we would use it in our application. So I'll put it here just so that our steps are clear. I need to export this key. So let's go back to our app. Right, so we are in here. Now I want to create a virtual environment. This virtual inf is a nice application to create virtual environments. I'm going to call it .env. This is just a Python virtual environment where I'm going to install my libraries. All right, the next thing is that I want to start working in this environment, so I have to source it. Once it's activated, they say we should pip install the GPT engineer. I'm going to do just that, pip install GPT engineer. So it's installing and it's installing, and there we have it. So we have the GPT engineer installed. Then the next thing you want to do is that we're going to do something simple. Let's make a directory and we will call it house price. Let's call it house price prediction. And in this directory, you need to create a prompt file. And so I'm going to touch a prompt file. I'm going to create my main prompt. My main prompt is going to be that file where we put our prompt. So it's created. We clear the terminal, and here we would cd into this house prediction thing, and ls again, then ls, then you see the main prompt is there, and this is where we're going to put our main prompt. I would nano and do that. We can put the main prompt here. All right, so the main prompt is just a set of instructions that you're going to give GPT engineer to create your application. Everything I'm using is ChatGPT. I have a simple set of instructions that I ask ChatGPT to give me an example of a very simple data science project where some random data would be generated about house prices. The data will be then used to predict the house price, and I want this to be shown on a Streamlight web application dashboard. Streamlight is exactly the thing, the web application that I showed you here. That is a nice web application that displays your results. In my instructions, I ask ChatGPT to give me such an app, right? Then I say, give me a Streamlight web application so that I can visualize my work, and that is what it exactly did. We created these set of instructions here, which I'm going to copy, and I'll go back to my terminal, and in my terminal I'm going to paste it here, and this goes into my main prompt. All right, so I'm going to save it, Control O and enter, then Control X. I have my main prompt saved. All right, the next thing is that I'm going to use GPT Engineer to work on this prompt and give me my web application. I'm not writing any code. So this is very simple like that. And we can now use GPT Engineer to generate the application. I am here. So I'm going now to say GPT Engineer. It's there, and I'll say go into house price and do my prediction. So I'm going to press enter. This is where the magic starts. Yeah, it asks for clarification for a few questions like what should be the range of the randomness in the data, and so on and so forth. It's asking you to be sure what exactly it should do. And if you think it can go ahead and do what it wants to do, then you press C, and this is what I do. I don't want to complicate stuff. So I press C, it starts creating everything here. You see, based on the requirements, the following classes, functions, and methods will be necessary. So it's creating this for you. Everything is created for you. And then I'll bring up a new terminal. So I'll bring up a new terminal. You see, in this new terminal, if I go to demo GPT, this is where we are, and ls, and I cd into this house price prediction thing, ls here, you see that it's already creating. This is the main prompt that we put the prompt into it. Then if I cd into this workspace, ls, you see there's nothing yet because it's still creating the files, and after it's done creating the files, you will see that this whole workspace will be populated. You see it's doing its magic there. Let's give it time to finish up. It's creating stuff like evaluate model, and it's doing the Streamlight application. This is crazy. This is really just crazy. Let's wait for it to finish. Now it's done. It asks that press enter or otherwise type no if you want to start up the application. All right, but then what if you go ahead and use the main.py? So it's going to start up the application, and this is where you will see all the magic. I've not written any code, so I'm going to say yes, go ahead, start up the application. So you see it's starting up the application, and then you see that the application is running here. And this is just great. This is just great because this is the app that it has created for us, and this is a house price prediction model that is displayed on a web application, and you can play with the bedrooms. Each time you change any feature here, you see that the house prices really increase with an increase in living areas. If you play with this, increase it, you see that the house price increases. There's also confidence intervals on the price that it predicts. So it says this might go from, it's a very close one though, it's very, very close, saying that this is a high confident price. Now you see I've created a web application with GPT Engineer without writing zero. I didn't write any code here. This is just great. This is amazing. Thanks for watching, guys. Do not forget to, of course, subscribe to the channel because that's what everyone says. So I'm saying that too. Thank you, guys.